Donald Trump. I'd break Nafta. It's a disaster. Thank you for watching the Shakaama Live Show with your host, Shakaama. I'm a little bit sick, so if I sound funny, that's why. Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump says he wants to be able to slap tariffs on U.S. companies that choose to make their products overseas, and he's willing to violate existing trade deals to do it. In an interview with CBS 60 Minutes that will be broadcast Sunday, the billionaire businessman says he won't be stopped by deals such as the North American Free Trade Agreement if elected president. Quote, "We will either renegotiate it or we will break it," Trump said of the landmark free trade agreement between the U.S., Canada, and Mexico, panning it as a disaster. Quote, "Every agreement has an end," he said. "Every agreement has to be fair." A look at Trump's proposal and the ramifications of breaking existing trade deals, according to experts. Could Trump break a trade deal? NAFTA governs trade between the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. The U.S. is allowed to withdraw from their agreement so long as it provides 6 months' notice, said Douglas Irwin, a professor of economics at Dartmouth and an expert in the U.S. trade policy. But there is a disagreement among experts about whether Congress would need to sign off on such a move, an echo of questions about whether the next president could abandon the deal with Iran over that country's nuclear program. There is no question that Congress would need to approve any kind of important tariff Trump might want to slap on products made by companies that move jobs overseas. In his interview with 60 Minutes, Trump cites his desire to do so using his favorite example, Ford Motor Company, moving production of some autos from the U.S. to Mexico. Quote, "If they want to sell their cars in the United States, they pay a tax," he said. "Here's what's going to happen. They're not going to build their plant there. They're going to build it in the United States." I'm sorry I don't have a Trump imitation. What would happen if the U.S. quit NAFTA? While many have raised concerns about the economic impact of NAFTA since it was ratified, experts said there was no precedent for walking away from such an expensive deal. Quote, "It would be unbelievably, extraordinarily complicated," said Edward Alden, a senior fellow at the Council of Foreign Relations and an expert in the trade policy. He warned of tremendous consequences for business. Duh. The does from me, not him. Quote, "You have thousands and thousands of businesses on both sides of the border that are set up to operate the way they are because the rules of NAFTA exist," he said. "So it's not the kind of thing you could just pull the plug on overnight." Thomas Bolke, a former trade negotiator who is also a senior fellow at the Council of Foreign Relations, called Trump's plan both unwise and unnecessary. Council on Foreign Relations. Keep that in mind. If you don't know what the Council on Foreign Relations is, please go look it up and watch about 50 videos about it. Bolke said the pulling of the NAFTA would have ramifications that extend far beyond trade, putting into question other agreements negotiated by presidents, including the nuclear deal with Iran. Quote, "If we start breaking them and withdrawing from them, people no longer trust our word on those agreements." It's such ridiculousness. Irwin said that any effort by the president to start slapping tariffs on other countries could also come back to bite the U.S. Yeah, they're going to not bring their product into the United States. We are the world market. Ostensibly, we have 330 million rich people. I know people here in the United States don't believe that they are rich, but compared to all other countries, the average citizens in the United States are rich compared to other countries. You don't understand how much taxes is taken out of all of the other Western nations, first of all. So even if they make more ostensibly, what do they take home? You have to keep thinking of all of these little matters. It's like a spider web, And at the center of the web is the United States. And they are doing their best to take the United States out. So if Trump says he needs to slap tariffs on to make it a fair trade, not a free trade. We can't have free trade. The only time that you can have free trade is if everybody in the trade is equal. And I don't mean, women have equal rights. I'm talking about equal. 300-pound man versus 300-pound man. 300 pounds, 6'2", college educated at Dartmouth versus 300 pounds. Equal. Not sort of equal, kind of equal. You can't have a free trade with a poor third world country. Or a country where, the other country where people are taxed to death. That's not free trade. In those situations, the people who are going to benefit are not the citizens. It's always going to be the companies that are involved in those quote-unquote trades. Because who's actually trading? Are you trading with Mexico? Are you trading with Canada? No, you're not. Companies are trading with Mexico. Companies are trading with Canada. Is Trump's idea even necessary? Trump is far from the first presidential candidate to express concerns about Nafta. President Barack Obama, for one, was a frequent critic when he was first running for president in 2008. But experts said the renegotiation of some of NAFTA's terms is, in many ways, going on now as negotiations continue in the Trans-Pacific Partnership. That trade deal involves both Canada and Mexico and will supersede parts of NAFTA, they said. Alden said that the new deal would impact areas of trade that include autos. Added Bulkis, quote, "It would be really hard to see what abandoning NAFTA would accomplish in this particular case, given that we will have a new trade agreement with these countries with new terms. Now we have to get Trump to say that he would completely cease all TPP negotiations, because that deal is not going to be fair either. Now, that a business person is talking about fairness, I think what he is doing is trying to talk like I talk, because I can speak on an intellectual level that would probably alienate most everybody who tunes into my channel. But if I say things like fair, equal, community, people understand those terms. They don't understand egalitarian. That black people need to be egalitarian. That white people need to be egalitarian with black people. Most people don't even understand when I say I'm a Pan-Africanist, and I believe that the black man worldwide needs to be independent and self-sufficient worldwide. Self-sufficiency goes right over people's head. Do you agree with Trump? Do you agree with Trump? Should NAFTA be completely abolished? I, for one, think it should. Do I believe Trump would do it if he was elected? I don't think so. I don't believe anything that he says. Personally, I don't believe anything he says. I think it's a great thing that he says it. Like they said, Barack Obama said it before he got into office, and then all of a sudden he got into office, and the Obama that was running a campaign talking about this, and that, and the other, he did none of it. Do you know that the only promises that Obama made before getting into office that he kept were the 7 to 9 promises he made to the homosexuals? That's it. Everything else he completely failed on. And whatever nods that he gave to the black community, he did the exact opposite and has nearly destroyed the black community, what little there is of it. Completely and utterly destroyed, and I can't believe that black people still support him. You people are ridiculous. 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 There's not even a word that I could even think of that would express my utter contempt for black people who support Barack Hussein Obama. Open your eyes. T-Bone getting shot in the street, getting little girls being raped, and the policeman getting off scot-free, still keeping his job. You're ridiculous. And even worse, the ones who call themselves Christians. If you say, oh, the eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth age is over, Jesus didn't say, lay your head down for your enemies to destroy you. What did he say about how you treat your enemies? He didn't just say kiss them on the cheek. He said forgive them, but clock them upside the head when it comes time to do so. Huh? Right? You got to read the whole thing. You can't just read one verse and think you're a Christian. All right. That's for the people who are a Christian. I don't think I need to preach to atheists, do I? I don't think I need to preach to agnostics, right? I don't think you need a lesson in don't be worshiping some guy who has destroyed your community, right? It seems I only need to preach to Christians because they're talking about, oh, let's forgive the guy who slaughtered 10 people. Let's be nice to him. What? Go sit down somewhere. I'm pointing out that Barack Hussein Obama completely changed. Completely. As soon as he got into office. Remember, Barack Obama, when he was campaigning the very first time, he made all of these beautiful promises. And it was like they took him in and tortured him and out popped a brand new guy. Completely different. He didn't even sound the same. So I'm saying to you people who are listening to Trump say these wonderful things that you exactly agree with, and it's not even on a political level, it's on a actual practical personal level. We will bring jobs back to the United States by taxing companies who take their jobs overseas and are trying to import the product back into the United States for you to pay for it. That's on a practical level. This is not politicians who say every chicken in a pot and every 40 acres in a mule, blah, blah, blah. By the way, for those black people who here's a little history lesson. The promise of 40 acres and a mule after the slaves were freed actually started to happen. And it was Congress that came back and stopped it. Yes, your lovely Democrats. Your lovely Democrats. I'm just sounding out a warning, a little warning bell. Trump can say anything that he wants to. When he gets behind these closed doors, when they start educating him as to the position of president, he's not going to be the man that I don't care how rich he is. He's not going to be the man that you think he is today. You have only to look at Obama. He's not even close to the man that was running in 2007. Not even close. Let that be a lesson to you. Thank you for watching the Shakaama Live Show.